Hello.
Welcome to Drawing Conclusions,
Today we are reviewing Anthem.
the latest game from BioWare, published by EA.
Yeah, and when I say that we're reviewing it, what I mean is I'm going to sit here looking puzzled and annoyed, which you won't be able to tell,
Puzzleoid.
while Josh talks about a video game.
Ah, yes, these are the best.
Anyway, my video game knowledge is pretty slim. So I'm going to let Josh tell us what he thinks of this game Anthem.
Well, first we'll talk about the good. I think the graphics in this game are some of the best available for Xbox One, which is what I have it on. The world of Bastion, which is this planet, whatever, feels...
Is it a bastion of hope?
It's a bastion of something.
Bastion of hamburgers.
I wish it was hamburgers. That'd be great.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, this planet, Bastion, it's this jungle forest with waterfalls. I mean, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
And in your javelins, what they call the suits that you fly around in this game, you get to fly everywhere. And of all the open world games I've played, you know, like Assassin's Creed or any number of Tom Clancy games, Destiny and the like, this one really felt the most open. It felt huge. It feels huge. I mean, you can go way up in the air. You go even in places like underwater and through caves and stuff. I mean, it's really vast and it's pretty fun to explore. Flight controls for your suit and combat, I think, are pretty cool. And it's pretty easy to get the hang of. I mean, a little bit of a learning curve, but not too bad. I mean, if you played enough flight sim games, you kind of figure that out. But it's all right.
What besides the graphics do you like?
I like the gameplay. I think the overall gameplay is pretty fun. It is a what they call looter shooter. Like anybody who's aware of that genre of game knows what I'm talking about. You play their missions, blow up bad guys, they drop things, you pick it up, and it's better than what you had. So you just kind of keep building that way. And there's a story that goes along with.
So you kill people to get stuff. That seems like a good moral game.
They're bad guys, though. They're bad.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's all right, I guess.
You're trying to hold back evil from
no.
destroying, or this wild creation from getting out of control, and other bad people from trying to harnessing it to remake the world as they see fit in their crazy ways.
I see.
So you love it, anyway. But so that is pretty cool. The voice acting's it's pretty good, and the character models are very nice and
Very nice.
very nice. Yes, they look pretty good. Very passable, tolerant even, adequate. No, they do look good. They're very well done in this game. I know that people had kind of apprehensive about this game coming out with BioWare's last game, Mass Effect Andromeda, which looked and played pretty badly from what I heard from friends who owned it, and seeing some of the photos of that online, I can see what they're talking about. This looks much, much better. Anyway, that said, on to the bad.
Yeah, so what sucks about this game?
Well, I'll just get this one out of the way. A lot of people complain about this one, even like pre-release. The load screens, from like one thing to another, you hit a load screen, and it's just like, why in the modern era of games do you have a load screen? It was just some static image and a status bar getting bigger. It's like you couldn't think of something more creative to put there. And I think that's kind of a pain.
Maybe they were just trying to kick it old school.
Yeah, that's a good excuse. I don't think so.
No? Okay.
So I don't really care for that. It's not a deal breaker or anything like that. I don't think any of the cons in this game were a deal breaker for me personally. I know some people really blew their tops at some of the stuff, including the load screens. I think the story is just okay. It's not great. I mean, I found that a lot of times I kind of skip through some of the stuff. It was like, moving along. I want to go shoot stuff and fly around. I think they could have integrated that a little better into the game, into the gameplay itself, and it would have been better. And I think overall, like, BioWare and EA have been rolling out patches since this game's launch, and it hasn't been out that long. Okay, and they had one massive one that just came out recently. And it feels like this game was launched incomplete. And for paying like, what they call a major AAA rated game, it's like $60.
Right.
So you think they would actually finish this thing up a lot more? I think that right there is kind of a real bummer for me. It's like, take 6 months, take a year, make this game right, make it the right way.
Right.
Get it out the door more finished than it is now. I mean, as it is, I do really enjoy the game. It is fun flying around in these suits and just unleashing carnage on the enemy. It's really fun. And it looks great. And the world is so cool. But like that aside, it's like at parts it feels a little thin. Like they needed more.
Like it needs to eat a sandwich.
Yes, it needed to eat some meatloaf, eat a steak, wash it down with a sandwich, and a tall cold one. I don't know, but
you're just too thin.
Too thin. You're too thin. You need to put on some pounds, honey. Anyway, but it feels like it needs something, and that's that kind of sucks when you shell out that kind of money for a game that you're expecting like some big kind of experience.
Right.
That said, I think this is the most unique game I've played in a long time, where it's like you truly get to explore an open world and not just the surface, like you just run around on the ground and all that stuff, going from place to place.
Yeah.
This is like it's very three-dimensional. The highs, the depths, and it's everywhere in between. It's really cool, and it looks fantastic. And I really enjoy this game. Of all these kind of games, this one might be one of my favorites, and I really like The Division, the first one, and Destiny, both 1 and 2. And this one, I think, is, in a lot of ways, more satisfying than those two. But those ones had a lot more polish and finish. And they did have their problems, too, but nothing like this one. So, anyway, that is basically the bad. There's probably stuff I missed on the good and the bad side, but whatever, I want to keep this brief.
So do you think that it's worth it to buy this game if you are a gamer?
At $60, probably not. Wait for the price drop, which will inevitably happen, unfortunately, sooner probably rather than later, which usually doesn't bode well for games, which stinks because I think this is a great idea for a game, and it is really fun to play. It really is. But it just needs more polish, more finish to the final product. And so, I mean, I hope they stick with it, and they said they were going to, but whatever that means.
Right.
So
Josh, tell us about this picture that you did for this review.
I liked a lot of old school design from back in the day, the 80s, where
oh no, the 80s.
The 80s takes place in the past. Reference to IT Crowd. Anyway, but where the designers and concept artists would use physical media and not just rely on digital wizardry.
Right.
That's what it feels like sometimes. Using gouache paint and illustration board and, laying out something really, cool concepts, cool compositions, all those things. And I like gouache paint. I really like painting with it. It's opaque, it's vibrant colors, and it just looks really neat when it's all said and done. So doing the background, trying to capture a little bit what the world of Bastion looks like. These crazy arches with plants and, foliage everywhere. The only thing I didn't put in there is the waterfalls, which the limited space I had in the background on this smaller piece of illustration board would be really tough to put in there, but whatever. It's a really lush, cool environment. I really want to try that. And also like the cool, just the way the mech suits, the javelins look in this game is really neat. And it is kind of like flying around being Iron Man. So it's really fun.
Well, I love the background, and I think the gouache looks really nice on this.
Thank you.
Yeah. The mech suit, or javelin, or whatever the heck it's called. I don't know. I'm just not into that kind of thing. To me, I'm just like, whatever. But I like the pretty background. It's so pretty.
Yes, it is very pretty.
Anyway, that's it for our review, or Josh's review of Anthem, and I will stop being snarky at some point. I guess at this point, because we're leaving.
At another time, at another point.
Right?
Yep.
Anyway, thanks for watching. Josh, what should they do now?
Don't forget Don't forget to subscribe. Leave a comment. We'd like to hear from you. If you
Yes.
bought this game, played it, or whatever at a friend's house, tell us what you think.
Yeah.
Also, what else?
They should share this with their friends.
Yes.
And they should subscribe. Did you already say subscribe?
I did. That was the first thing.
Like it. Like the video.
Yes, like the video.
Yeah. And check us out on Patreon. And check out our other reviews. We just reviewed Captain Marvel.
Yes, we did.
And we've got lots of other cool artwork on our channel. And
Yep, links to other cool sites, so
Yeah.
check them out.
all right. Thanks.